First off, thanks to the Pittsburgh media for coming to today's game. I'm sure you enjoyed it as much as our players did. It's a gutsy win by our guys. Couldn't be prouder of the effort they gave. We came up in the fourth quarter and said we're going to win this thing. Broke down on win. Again, our guys believed. Again, it shows your true character. Come back from being 21 down. Players made plays. We made plays in the second half on offense and defense. Eli had a much better second half than he did starting off. But you kind of see some of that coming. The first half, I don't know what the time possession was, but it was not good. We lost that field, time possession probably by 12 minutes or so. So they had the ball a lot. We just didn't, stay on the field offensively, but we did in the second half, and it's a heck of a win. We got a happy football team in that locker room right now, and again, they believed, and again, just shows true character. So questions?
Pat, what went into the adjustments? You boasted that you guys were great at adjustments on Thursday. You guys back it up to 21-point comeback. What went into the adjustments on offense and get the defense?
Yeah. Defense was just, making the plays. I don't know if there was a ton of adjustments. I mean, they sat in there for a while at halftime and discussed a lot of things, what they liked, what they didn't like, and you kind of clean up your game plan based on what they're doing and what they're showing. And defensively, that's what we do. I don't know how many points we scored in the second half, but we make adjustments every series, trying to figure stuff out and take stuff away. But that's a good football team. I can tell you that they were a lot better today than they looked against Morgan State last year. So I give them a lot of credit. Sorbsy's a football player. He made some great throws out to the flats, to the receivers. They did a nice job. They got a good football team, but we have a better football team today.
What gave you the faith in Eli to stick with him?
You know what? Again, he's shown in practice that he's our guy right now, and again we know Nate can do it too. We just felt like the scramble ability, and he didn't waver at all. I mean, I think if you look in a kid's eyes and you see any dizziness, I mean, he was locked in, and shoot, he apologized to me after the game. That'll never happen again. I mean, that's kind of who he is. Glad we stuck with him because I don't think it happens at the end. I mean, Kanate Mumfield, Desmond Reed, I've kind of talked about him for a month now about what he is. 100 yards receiving, 100 yards rushing. That guy's a football player. Credit goes to the players. Players make plays. Team win. Obviously, coaches did a nice job, but the players make plays.
What went into the 2-point conversion decision at the beginning of the fourth quarter?
The recommendation, on the, when we were down 21 was to go for 2, and I didn't think momentum-wise that was a smart decision. So, down 21 when we scored to go down, I guess, 15. The recommendation was to go for it there, but I was like, no, momentum-wise, if you don't get it, to me it didn't look good. But all the analytics tell you need to go for it. And again, if we get one of those, you're possibly playing for the win at all. So we're not playing to tie, we're playing to win. We know we have a good kicker, and again, our defense stepped up and got the 4-minute get the ball back with, I think, 2:38 or whatever it was on the clock, and our guys made plays.
What happened for you guys? It seemed like one thing Cincinnati was consistently doing throughout 2.5 quarters was isolating the cornerbacks, getting quick passes out.
Yeah.
Did you guys just say, hey, clamp down, we got to take those away, or what was the adjustment?
Clamp down. I mean, there were some major stiff arm push offs that we just got to play better. We still got to get better at corner right now. We got to get a lot of young guys out there. We'll look at the videotape, but they played better in the second half. But Sorsby can make those throws out there. So if they're running a 10-yard comeback, I mean, he was putting them right on the money for the most part. So we got into some different stuff in the second half. On some of those sacks were big plays, great calls by Bates.
Desmond Reed had a big game today. What did you make of his performance?
I already mentioned it. Desmond Reed's a football player. I can't say enough. I don't know when the last time someone had 100 yards receiving, 100 yards passing. His performance is outstanding. I'm sure he'll be the player of the week in the ACC. If he's not, something's wrong. But he's a football player.
You feel like Eli just started to see the field better in the second half?
Possibly. I mean, I told you they're dropping 8, and you got to be smart with the football. And he did a better job even in the second half of scrambling and taking the yards they're going to give you. I mean, if you don't feel good, take off and run. And he did that in the second half as well. But he obviously saw the field, better. There's a couple scramble throws that were good as well. He can throw on the run, and he made some plays.
Obviously, Jason started at left guard, but Ryan was, in uniform. Was Ryan able to play today?
Yeah, Ryan was unable to play today, and Jason Collier did a heck of a job filling in. And then Jason kind of went down with a little injury. We didn't have him at the end of that second quarter. I'm not sure how much time in the second quarter, and then he got it together. And, I give Jason Collier a ton of credit. I mean, the guy came back and fought through it. A little hamstring. We'll throw it right out there to you. Jerry, where's Jerry at? He's not here. He would have loved that. But he had a hamstring, and he came back in the second half. He had a hold maybe in the third quarter. But Jason did a heck of a job helping us win that football game.
Saul's hit two field goals. But I think maybe the more important one might have been the end of the first half.
The most important one was at the end of the game. I mean, that's a game winner right there. That's a big time play. We got a lot of faith in Ben Sauls. I mean, he was over 90% during fall camp. He's money, and again, points are points. Whether in the first half or second half, you take the three when that's what you got, and go with it.
It seems like you talked all week about how, hey, since he's going to drop eight, and you saw a lot of times they had a second defender on a lot of you guys' primary targets. What went into Eli being able to settle down and sift through that and find the right?
I think experience. I mean, you can't. You come into a great atmosphere at Cincinnati. They got a good game day atmosphere, just experience. I think. I mean, you can't get that in practice. Just the experience is just going to make him a heck of a lot better here as we move forward. He knows he's been there now. He's been on the road, and it'll make us better.
When you said Eli apologized to you, that's just for not playing the way he wanted to in the first half?
Yeah, the way he just like the first thing he said to me after the game, it won't happen again. But yeah, just sorry, coach. But hey, it wasn't just him; it was all of us. It was coaches and players, and it's not just on quarterback. He gets all the credit when things are going good, and sometimes he's going to get the minuses when he's not.
What's this do for a program, Pat? You don't see comebacks this size that often. What do you think it does for you guys?
Well, I think it gives them belief. We talk about faith and belief all the time, and our guys believed. And there was never a time on the sideline. You talk about emotion and energy on the sideline. There was never a time on the sideline where our guys didn't think they could get it done. And I always talk about feeding off each other. Our offense scores and our defense. Our defense got stronger as our offense kept scoring. They got stronger. That's what we didn't have a year ago, where we are feeding off of each other. Then the offense scores, we go up, and then we get into victory defense and shut it down and win the game at the end. So, I mean, it's like everything, we had a 4-minute stop. We had a 2-minute, at the end of the half. How about the 2 minute at the end of the half for the field goal? You think that field goal was important with, was it 33 seconds left on the clock at the half? And we get in field goal range and kick a 53-yarder. I mean, that's, you had a game winner at the end of the half, and you had a game winner, at the end of the game, Ben Sauls.
It seemed like in the second half there, the defense really stepped up, just based on what the linebackers were able to do to get pressure on the quarterback. Just what did you think of their?
Yeah, I don't know how many pressures we had. We didn't get enough, but he got the ball out well. I mean, he did a nice job. But I don't know how many sacks we had today. But we didn't get enough. But he's good with the ball. He's a really good football player.
Your defense allowed 7 yards in the fourth quarter. Who did you see being the leading voice out there to keep that team, keep their heads high and focused to make those kind of adjustments?
I don't know. I would say Brandon George would be one of them, but I think coaches and players. It takes it better be more than one guy. I think the coaches held it together, and were positive on the sideline, and that's all you can be. You coach it up off the iPad what you see, get things better. I snapped a couple of times. When I see some stuff on the iPad, in between series, that's not good. It's valuable to have those iPads out there just to know who you're attacking. You can't wait till Sunday to figure it out. But we played much better at the corner position in the second half, and again we made some plays and made some good adjustments.
Anything final before we bring our players up?
Pat, when you make a hire like you did with Cade, and then you see an offense like this do this in the second half, what's it do just for the belief of like, hey, yeah, I think we did a good job getting the offense together?
We've had a belief for a while. It wasn't just after last week or after this week. I told our team last night, I've got more confidence. I've been coming into 10th season, I have more confidence in what our guys can do in that room. I told them last night before they went to bed that I couldn't be more confident about what we can do on in really all 3 phases. And we made our mistakes. Trust me. The penalties. We'll look at those. I mean, we started twice. Inside the 15-yard line again. It's hard for anybody to go down there. I think we started at the 6-yard line. Took it 94 yards for a touchdown as well. But we didn't have the winning. We didn't win the time possession, and we certainly didn't win the field position. Those are 2 critical things. And special teams has got to get better. We've had 2 holdings on kickoff return this season so far. It's 2-2. That's not good, and it puts our we had some pretty good kickoff returns with Kenny Johnson, hitting it up in there, and they get called back for a hold. So we got to clean that stuff up. I'm just going to get the guys off that can't get it done, and go with guys that will.